where you can go. It's a Workspace provision code. A business hub where you can go. It's a Workspace provision code.
All right, we are recording. This is episode 3 of Workspace Podcast. We are here in the bonsai room of Workspace Provision. My special guest today is Matt Freeze with Homestead Heritage Mortgage and several other things. How are you today?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good. Matt, tell us about yourself.
Well, I wear a lot of hats. So my main priority is mortgages right now, but I own some investment properties and somehow fell into selling flooring also.
Very nice. A little mixture of things. I looked at your social media. You're a bit of a ham. You're a bit of a social media guru. On your social media and your website, there's a picture of you holding like a sign.
So it's funny that a friend of mine, she offered to do some headshots when I got into mortgages, and we were kind of playing around and like just joking around, like, oh, you should do like a used sales guy, right? Used car salesman.
Yeah. And
that was actually just like a playing around photo, and it's stuck. And now, like when I give people my business card, they're like, oh, well, I've seen you on Facebook, so it's memorable. It's gimmicky.
Yeah. They can now say you're that guy.
Exactly. They don't recognize me till I hand them the card.
Very good. So on a day-to-day basis, what are some things that you're doing?
So I a lot of mortgages. Like right now the market is slow for everyone. It's still cranking for me. And I think it's mainly because the social media helps. The investment properties, investors are always buying, but I work with first-time home buyers and everyone else. But right now, while a lot of the loan officers are struggling right now, still investors are always going to buy.
Yeah. I saw somewhere that you help people invest their money in other ways through real estate. Tell me a little bit more about that. What is your objective there?
Well, so I get, and I might waste a lot of time because it takes longer for me to do that portion than it does to do a mortgage, right? So a lot of the people I talk to, I sit on phone calls for hours with them because I'll run AirDNA, I'll pull the comps. I'm investor first and then a loan officer. So
okay,
I look at, hey, is this going to be a good deal for them or whatnot? And I spend a lot of time, trying to make sure it's the right property for them. Exact same way as if I was to look at the investment property for myself.
Okay, so you started as a investor yourself, and that's what led you into this line of work?
Yeah, my resume goes all over the place, and while I was doing all my other careers, in the meantime, I was doing real estate investing on the side. Finally, I got to a point where I got a phone call one day that said, hey, do you want to be a branch manager at a mortgage company? And I said, I know nothing about mortgages. And they said, that's fine. We'll teach you everything you need to know. And I was like, but it's all commission based. And I said, you know what? I'm making enough now in my real estate. I'm traveling all the time for work. I'm tired of traveling. Let me try it out. And so I totally changed careers, got into mortgages, and it's boomed. About a year ago, I said, why am I a branch manager? Why am I not doing this for myself? So I started up my own mortgage company, and here I am.
I watched one of your videos on TikTok, and I can't remember where it was exactly. Maybe you can lean on that, but you purchased the property, and you said, I just had to paint here, pull down the popcorn ceiling. Are these some things you do yourself, or are you kind of a general contractor in a way? Or
so I was doing everything myself.
Okay.
Like in my previous career, I was a laser engineer for a while for cataract surgeries, and then transitioned from that to a surgical trainer. Both of those roles, you're literally sitting around with nothing to do. There were months I had nothing to do. So I would go down, my condos are on Myrtle. I'd go down to Myrtle and I'd just do all the work myself. And then if I had received a phone call saying, hey, this cataract laser's down, or we need somebody to train during the surgery, I'd hop on the next flight and I would go handle that. So even if I was down in Myrtle renovating a condo, I had to pack my stuff up and go.
How did you get into the laser surgery aspect?
So everything in life is it's all about who you know, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I did IT prior to that, and IT, it was general IT, and I did it for a long time, and I realized it wasn't a whole bunch of money in IT. And one day I got a phone call, said, "Hey, do you want to be a laser engineer?" I said, "I know nothing about lasers." They said, "We'll fly you down to Florida and teach you everything you know you need to know." And
Wow.
I was said, "How'd you get my phone number?" And it
Yeah.
turns out a friend of mine who works for the manufacturer of the laser gave him my phone number. They called me. They needed somebody who could become a laser engineer, and then I worked for two different laser companies, and one of them that's when they decided, you know what, you would be a good surgical trainer, and then I was teaching one step in cataract eye surgery.
Okay. That's to me a very specific thing that you got into, but that's fantastic. You seem to have a entrepreneurial, I can't hold still sort of spirit. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, bad thing. I'm always chasing the money, right? Like, so
Okay.
I'll get into something and say, oh wait, there's more money to be made over here or over there, and I'm constantly following that. So if you look at my resume, it's all over the place. But the last 5 years, mortgages and rental properties are really
Okay.
doing me well.
How many properties do you own?
So I got up to 14
Wow.
Airbnbs. I sold a couple. Now I think I have a dozen.
Do folks manage it for you, or you're still on the phone with these properties all the time, or?
So I use third-party software for automation, so it sends out the emails, it notifies my
Okay.
cleaners, it handles everything automated. It eliminates the human error. The only time I have in my listings, hey, I'm busy. I don't have time for phone calls. If you have a problem, message me through Airbnb and we'll solve it. And then I have a great maintenance guy down there that if I say, hey, there's a problem here, go fix it, make it go away.
Okay.
And he will, whatever needs to happen, he'll make it happen.
Yeah. Are these properties and investments all in a certain radius? Are they close to each other, or are they kind of spread out?
They're sort of spread. They're all in Myrtle Beach, but
Okay.
they are kind of spread out, sort of. There's certain resorts that I have invested in. And so, like, one resort, I have 3 properties, another one, I have 5, and then spread out besides that.
Got it. Now, COVID, unfortunately, is still part of a lot of conversations I have, but I use it in retrospect to the ups and downs of the economy and people going out and about, people spending money. Is life back to normal for you in that regard?
Well, Airbnbs were amazing right after COVID.
Okay.
Amazing. Everyone had money to play with. Last year, rents were down a little bit. This year, they're down a little bit more. So it's not as profitable as it was. It's still profitable. It'll still make money, but not nearly as much as I was making on the Airbnbs.
Okay.
I'm sure that'll come back around when people start traveling again. Right now, it's just people are keeping their money tight.
Yeah. Are they long-term rentals or short-term? Just people on vacation?
Yeah.
A weekend, a week? What kind of?
Most people are only booking like 3 or 4 days right now.
Okay.
And so it's like if you book during the weekdays, you get a really good deal. Book on the weekends, it's more expensive, but they're shorter bookings. So
Yeah. Awesome. What are good, in a business sense, referrals for you, or maybe lean a little bit on upcoming goals or growth in general? What are you looking to do now?
I mean, best referrals, realtors, they bring me a lot of the business. You can get borrowers, you can pay for leads, right, in the industry, but a lot of those leads, they're going from lead source to lead source looking for the unicorn who can get them approved. I do a lot of creative financing, so I end up spending a lot more time on a lot of the clients who need it. But a lot of times when the leads are coming from realtors saying, hey, look, here's a good client here, and you pre-approve them, those are the best leads. Those are the awesome. But I do spend a lot of my time pre-approving those people who were told no by the last 10 loan officers.
Okay.
And then usually if there's a will, there's a way. I can figure out a way to make it work, but it does take more time.
Yeah. You're easy to talk to. You're friendly. You're outgoing. I think that already sets you apart maybe with some folks in this field. Is that correct?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah. Because opening finances or getting loans and things, at least in my realm, it's always been a really private, personal thing. And so I'm always leery, I guess, when you're working in that space.
Yeah, no, I think people do trust me. Is I try to befriend all my clients, right? Like, and a lot of them, I either earn their trust, or if it, like you said, who's my perfect connections? Perfect connections are realtors, and then there's the triangle of trust that you do a group text and say, hey, look, here's Matt. He's awesome. He's going to take care of you. It works out better than a realtor to say, hey, Matt, give this person a call. All right. And then
Yeah.
they have no idea who you are, and you're cold calling them, and they've got their wall up and everything. But when you have that good circle of trust, that's awesome.
This episode is powered by Foxtrot Print, located here at Workspace Provision Co. at 14101 Capitol Boulevard, right where Wake Forest meets Youngsville. Foxtrot Print specializes in pieces that keep your business moving. Menus, loyalty cards, booklets, thank you cards, and more. As a husband and wife team, we work directly with you to create print that makes an impact and helps your business stand out. I've got 2 boys, a dog, I play music, I run a print shop. Life at home is busy. Trying to grow a business at the kitchen table and run it out of your garage? Forget it. That's why I joined Workspace Provision Co. on the north side of Wake Forest at Youngsville, North Carolina. It gave me more than just a desk and a space. It gave me focus, community, and a place to grow. As a small business owner, having a space like this has made all the difference. If you'd like to grow your business too, check out Workspace Provision Co., Youngsville, North Carolina. Those circles of people and keeping them close to you, and they're your partners. They're your folks that are going to say, hey, this guy I trust, this guy's so cool. I'm reiterating a little bit of what you're saying, but I find in my business, in the print world, I just need to make people like me. I just need to be likable, and then talk about my work and make it less of a hard sale. And it maybe seems like that way for you sometimes as well.
It definitely helps. It also helps. I have 2 backyards, right? I have my Myrtle Beach backyard, and then I have my backyard here in Wake Forest.
That's true. Let's talk about that a little bit. Were you from Myrtle Beach, or what is your connection there?
I just, back in 2015, and Airbnb started getting popular, and I said, let me figure out where rentals will work out. And, I reverse engineered the numbers by like, all right, this guy's calendar is almost full. He's got this week available. Let's see what he's charging for this week. Okay, he's charging $99 a night. Okay, that means he's probably making $3,000 a month, or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's why I started doing that all over the United States. And I'm like,
Okay.
Myrtle's numbers are really good for how cheap the properties are. And then once I started, I built my client. I built my cleaners, my maintenance guys, my flooring guys, like everything I need down there. And now it's like, well, I'm concentrating on this area for that reason, but I need to diversify, and I start looking in other areas like Destin Beach and other vacation rental places.
Okay.
I can't quite find the kind of return on the purchase price, right? Anywhere better than Myrtle still.
Yeah, very good. I know I'm from Pennsylvania, from south of Pittsburgh originally, and that was a vacation spot for a lot of folks. And they keep coming back, and now you're growing your properties there and making money from it. It's fantastic. Tell me a little bit more about Matt outside of business. What are some things you do for fun? Are you a family man?
Yeah, wife and 2 kids, 8 and 10-year-old kids. We weekends I try to disconnect as much as I can, since I do work a lot. Like, I literally work sunrise to sunset during the week, but weekends I try to disconnect a little bit. And besides that, I play a lot of pickleball and volleyball.
Okay. You've been playing pickleball for a long time?
Yeah, a couple years now.
Is there a go-to spot in Wake Forest for you?
So the underground, which we won't talk about here.
No, sure, yeah.
But it's nice because you can actually reserve your own. You pay for a private court, so that way,
Okay.
if you have a crew of 4 that wants to play and uninterrupted, you can pay the money and play uninterrupted.
Very, very nice. Now, the folks I talk to that love tennis, they don't like pickleball. And I get a little bit of it from the other side. I thought they would be like best friends, tennis and pickleball, but it seems like, and I could be wrong, I'm sure there's people that play both, but it seems like you're one or the other. Do you feel that way?
So yes and no. A couple of the guys I play with, they switched from tennis to pickleball once they started playing. It's funny because, like, they jump on the courts and they pick it up right away. The only difference is the tennis players that hop onto pickleball, they have the tendency to stay at the back of the court, where pickleball you're supposed to stay at the front, and you could tell when it's like, oh, okay, you used to be a tennis
you're
player.
a tennis player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they pick it right up.
Yeah. Do you like ping pong? Do you like table tennis?
So I didn't, because I was horrible at it. But
Okay.
more recently, I got on the table tennis match, and I was actually really good now. And so learning what I've learned from pickleball has really picked up in table tennis, because you learn kind of to push the ball instead of swinging at the ball, and just little things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Even tennis racket, someone that hasn't played, you hit them a ball and they'll hit it out of the park and don't realize the motion or the amount of power behind it. The table tennis, I've always loved ping pong. I've played a lot from high school through college, just for fun. And one time when I lived in Florida, I joined a ping pong club, and it had a pro shop, and it had people that were sponsored by local businesses that would sign up for tournaments for a cash prize or something.
Wow.
It was pretty serious. And I thought I was good. I thought I was real good until I went to that club. There were people that were, the paddle was an extension of their body. You see these YouTube videos of these volleys that are just insane, and these guys are 20 feet off the table. That's what this was like.
Wow.
But the pickleball, you've played it a while. Did you play it in school or?
Not in school. I picked it up a couple years ago. Actually, what's funny was I was playing a lot of racquetball, and somebody came and knocked on the racquetball door and said, "Hey, we're playing pickleball up the road. If you want to come next Tuesday." And the guy I was playing with, him and I were like, I don't know, pickleball sounds kind of weird. So we went up there, and he fell in love with it. I was more of a racquetball guy. I'm like, no, I'm sticking to racquetball.
Yeah.
So him and I kind of split off. He went straight pickleball. I went racquetball. He actually owns a pickleball play now. Yeah. So he really got into it, and
good. Yeah, it's kind of turned from a hobby to an addiction almost. That's good. It's a good way to blow off steam. Do you ever do business on the pickleball court, or you kind of separate that?
No, that's the thing in real estate, in mortgages, real estate, you never know where you're going to get the clients, right? So, from pickleball, from, these the networking events I do, everywhere you have clients. There's guys I've played pickleball with that. One of them is now a real estate investor, and he flips multiple properties. I helped him get there.
Great. Fantastic. Definitely think it's important to have your activities to blow off steam, to de-stress, to debrief is what I call it. I play music. I look forward to having some gigs around town and meeting other people doing it. Lately, my best audience is my family, but certainly hard for me to not want to make money even with a hobby. On that topic a little bit, maybe tell listeners here to this podcast, for someone like yourself that seems to wear a lot of hats and to be working sun up, sun down, I'll put you on the spot a little bit. What is some advice you would give a busy small business professional to keep their sanity, or to how to keep them in check when they're the CEO and janitor of their business?
I'm still learning how to keep my sanity myself, but no, you definitely, like you said, you have to do something to blow off steam. So I religiously, Monday nights at 9:00 at night, I'm playing volleyball, and Wednesday nights religiously I'm playing pickleball. I'm disconnected no matter how busy my workload is. A lot of times I try to cut off my work at 9:00 and not work past then. Last night I actually worked till almost midnight, but I try to do something. I also play Call of Duty, so on nights I'm not doing volleyball or pickleball, I do hop on Call of Duty.
Do you have the whole gaming setup?
Yeah,
it's pretty hardcore.
Yeah,
cool. I've never really gotten into that. I like a lot of retro games, a lot of old Nintendo games, but I've never got into the Call of Duty video game stream.
It's funny because I have my squad I play pickleball with. I have my squad that I play Call of Duty with. So, but we're pretty intense.
Yeah, it seems to be kind of two different breeds of people too. Probably
it is. And that's one of the when I got into mortgages, one of the first questions somebody asked me, do you play sports? Do you play video games? Are you competitive? And I was like, yeah, I'm competitive. They were like, all right, you need to be a loan officer. I was like, why? They said, because competitive loan officers, they don't lose a deal, right? Like, so like it, and I think that is another reason why I've progressed in it, because even if I have to give up my compensation to make something work out, I do not like to lose a deal.
Very nice. Well, that's good. You can sharpen your competitiveness on the pickleball court, bring it back to work, and make money, get deals done. Before we kind of sign off here on our podcast, could you tell listeners how they can connect with you?
Yeah, the best way is if you go to my website, it's Matt Freeze, but it's spelled like fries, MATTFRIES.com. There's a button at the top of the page to schedule time to chat.
Very good. Well, thanks. I appreciate you coming in, being the special guest, making this something special for Workspace Provision here. Has the community here benefited you? Do you find yourself connecting with a lot of folks in this building?
Oh yeah, no. The more I'm here, the more I'm like walking through the door, and I'm like, oh hey, I haven't seen you in a while, and then it helps with the referrals and whatnot. So I initially just needed a space as a loan officer. They need to inspect and make sure you have a locker in your door and locking cabinets and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll grab this space. But it's turned into more of a family now, right? Like, it's awesome.
Very good. All right, good deal. Thanks, buddy.
A business hub where you can go. It's a Workspace Provision Code. A business hub where you can go. It's a Workspace Provision Code.